Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Russ Morrow, and it's been my pleasure to act as host for this week's virtual summit brought to you by NAPW. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the many NAPW members joining us today. For those of you who may not be familiar, NAPW is an online and face-to-face community made up of over 850,000 professional women who join together to cultivate valuable business connections, to develop professionally, and to promote themselves and their businesses. If you'd like to learn more about NAPW and the many benefits of membership, please make sure to visit our website at napw.com. This afternoon's webinar, Managing Busy, Redefining Your Busy Schedule, is part of our 3-day virtual summit for entrepreneurs where, over the course of 12 interactive sessions, we've offered some amazing information and guidance from experts who have provided insights on how to plan, how to launch, how to run, and expand your own business. Topics covered have included how to get started, how to market your business, understanding legal issues, and the benefits of using virtual professionals. So before I introduce our guest speaker, a few housekeeping points. Everybody is on mute, so you mustn't worry about being overheard if you sneeze or cough. Questions. If you have any questions, you'll be able to submit them, and there will be some time to answer these at the end of the presentation. Now, depending on the volume, we may not get to all of the questions, but if that happens, we'll do our best to answer them either via blog post or by email, but we'll make sure we communicate answers to you. And the million-dollar question, will I be able to see the presentation again if I miss something? Yes, you will. Recordings of this webinar and all of the others over the course of the virtual summit this week will be available to view here on the BrightTalk platform and will also be emailed to you. So it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this session. Danielle Roberts is an online business manager who spends her days working with entrepreneurs to develop their business strategy, organize their businesses, and help them in handling their day-to-day operations through her business, Legacy Creative Company. During this webinar, Danielle will help you to understand some simple yet effective steps to take you from chaotic and stressed to being a thriving and energetic business owner. Danielle, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Over to you.
Hey, thank you. Guys, I'm so excited to be with you today and share about something that I'm super passionate about because I've seen it be so effective and so helpful in my own life and business, because I believe that managing busy means you're also focusing on not only your business, but also your life, which is what this slide says. So being organized in your business is more than streamlining your work life. It's about structuring your personal life to allow for more freedom and success in both areas. So let's just take a second and prepare. I know there's like some people that might have mindset blocks over organized, the word organized. So let's think about streamlining. How is it that you could focus on your business or your life and kind of add a little bit more structure? Or what areas of freedom would you like that can possibly come from having some streamlining and some organizing? I hope everybody has their answer, because we'll work through this in a little bit. So about me, I am a wife, a mother, and a business owner, which means that there has to be lots of organization to take place so that I can effectively help my clients, help my family, and not go crazy myself. I am a Navy veteran. I was in the Navy for 6 years, which is a lot of where I learned how to help others manage and organize, because let's face it, when you have somebody yelling at you going, "Where is your information? Where is your stuff?" You don't want to be like, "Oh, hey, sir. Well, let me get that all put together," and you need to be spot on with your information and your any needs, anything that your client wants, anything that possibly could get you in trouble. That's what you don't want. So the experience in the Navy has taught me a lot. Also being a mom of 3, ages 6, 4, and 2. Yes, I planned it out that way. And I have one on the way next month in December. So I am currently in the process of making sure my business is hyper organized so that I can take time off to welcome a new little one and still be able to provide resources for clients and other business owners. I have been working with clients for the last 2 years and then been helping them delegate work to others for the last year. So I'll talk about a couple of those things that I do later on down in this presentation. And I just have my mission statement here because something that we're going to talk about is how to see the big picture and knowing your goals and your mission for your business. So looking at the big picture, what are your goals and your mission for your business? I don't know if there's been a presentation this week about how important your goals and your mission and your vision statement are for your business, but they're really, really important, which is why I'm going to talk a couple different times about having goals and mission and vision for your business. It seems like such a cliche thing to say, oh, I've got goals for my business. I am going to do X, Y, and Z for the year 2018. When you have your vision and your goals and your mission defined, and then you also have values that you want your business to amplify, excuse me, the ability for you to see the big picture becomes so much more clear because you know what's defining you, what's directing you, and where you want to go personally and where your business is going to go. So as I had said on the previous slide, my mission is to equip, empower, and enable women business owners to serve the whole owner, wellness, health, business, and faith. And I also put heart on there because I believe that your faith and your heart are very important in business and in life. And so that draws it all together. So those things are going to be really, really important if you do not have goals or a mission statement or vision statement or values for your business. I really, really encourage you to take time either after you're done listening to this or later on this week or this weekend if you have a full-time job, 9 to 5 full-time. I feel like business running is full-time in itself, even if you're doing a part-time thing. So take time to focus on those, break them down, see what it is you really value. For me, I value integrity. So when I say something, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to follow through with it. And that has become a part of my reputation as a business manager. People know that they can trust me because I stick to my word. And there's a couple different places that you can find the different values that people have. You can Google, I'm sure something will come up. I had a worksheet that I was doing for my family. And so my husband and I actually sat down and we worked on our values. So that was interesting to see from a family point of view where we wanted to go. If you have a partner, if you have a family, I recommend doing this as well because it just means that you're on mission and vision together. You're able to go in the same direction even if you have different values. So my husband values humor, which I appreciate because it keeps life interesting. And we both feel like we want our kids to be able to laugh and enjoy life. but my value is hard work. And so we have to live in mutual understanding that I value hard work, he values humor, so we need to make them work together. It's kind of like steering a boat. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to be able to get to that point. If you're headed to an island, you're going to be stranded out in the middle of the ocean if you have no idea where you're going. So these are ways to keep yourself on point and continuing to go where does you want to go. And don't feel like this has to be stagnant. You can always change your goals. You can always change your mission statement. I know that for myself, I've changed a couple of different times in the 3 years that I've owned my business because my ideals have changed and what I want to be able to serve my clients with has changed. So some top tips to prioritize and manage your to-do list, which sounds kind of like I have to make a list. And yes, having a to-do list is going to help you be organized. There are multiple ways to do this. You have to find what's effective for you, whether you like the Evernote version, whether you like a Trello card, some online resources, or if you're like me and you love pen and paper, the ability to cross things off is empowering and helps me feel like I'm actually getting something done. So my tips, use the power that you have to say no to things. This is why I say when you have a mission statement and you have values, you're able to say no to the things that do not align with where you want to be. So if somebody says, and I'm not opposed to male clients, but I prefer to work with women because they understand family and they understand having a baby. Like most men don't understand, oh, I'm going to have a baby in 3 weeks. I'm sorry, but my calendar is closed. So when I have the mission statement of helping women business owners, that's going to help me decide whether I really want to take on a male client or if I prefer to stick to women. And the people feel like saying no is so detrimental to either business or to life because they feel like they're letting people down or they feel like they're not being fair. And in the end, who are you in business for? Who are you serving in your life? If you have a business, you probably went into business for yourself. At least to have freedoms, have other things that come with owning a business for yourself. For my family comes first because that's one of my other values. So if something is going to take me away from my family, I really need to look strongly at what I'm saying yes to. But saying no to something also frees me up to saying yes to something better. The other thing to prioritize and manage your to-do list is allowing others to help you and delegating. Now, people think that I'm crazy, but I have my kids. So the youngest is 2. We have them help with laundry and cleaning up their own toys and making sure that they are responsible for their things because 2 things. I have a business and I have a family and there is no way that I can do it all myself. Absolutely not possible. So my husband and I have chosen to delegate and allow them to help. The underwear and the socks and the pajamas do not need to be folded. So our kids put their own things away. Our 6-year-old is able to hang things in her closet, and the 4-year-old can manage to keep his pants folded until they reach the bedroom. So these are small ways that we allow our kids, to help us out at our house. And we're also teaching them values of hard work while we're at it. Now, in business, this can be a little more difficult. One of the things that I consistently hear, I have a service that I provide where I will sit with business owners for 45 minutes, talk about their business, how I can help them, what they need to delegate. One of the things that I consistently hear is, how do I know if I trust them? Well, my number one tip is to get referrals, because if somebody is going to refer somebody to you, then you more than likely will get a good person. There are the off times when somebody's going to recommend a crap person to help you delegate. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Give or take, it does happen. But there are times that you can create a smaller project to build that trust and build the relationship before you start handing over the big things, like the bookkeeping or all the passwords or whatever it is that you want to keep closer to home. We miss out on so much because we aren't focused on where we want to go and what we want to do, and we flounder because we aren't sure of what it is that our mission is telling us to do. So it's super important to be able to take what you're doing on your to-do list and make sure they match up with what you have going on in your mission statement. And I was listening to somebody say that she had she had been talking with her team, and she wanted to focus on building out this huge course. So her team was like, well, let's check your mission, let's check your vision, but look at your goals for this year. What are your goals for this year? What do they say? And she's like, well, it doesn't match up with my goals or my mission statement. So they decided to hold off for a quarter and to drop that down to a lower priority on the to-do list. How to ensure time-saving success. So outsourcing, like I said, is going to be huge. Even if you're just getting started in your business, there are ways that you can outsource. When you have things that are not your forte, for me, building websites is not my forte. That was something that I identified straight off that I wanted to outsource and to be able to hand over to somebody else, because it was saving me time and energy to focus on what I was good at. As a business manager, my goal and purpose is to help clients move forward in their business and to cut down on the chaos that can result from being too scattered to make a difference. And a lot of times, business owners don't know what exactly they need to outsource or who they need to outsource to, which keeps them feeling stuck. And that's where I come in and I'm able to help them identify what it is that they want to move forward in. Also, being intentional in your goals and with your time. Writing things down on a calendar or a to-do list is going to be super helpful and can help you save time. It sounds simple, but it's important when you need to count every minute and to make them matter. Because when you delegate time to something, that's making it a priority. And those priorities are going to get things done, and you'll be able to check off them on your to-do list. A tip for life and also for business that's going to save you time is to make a menu for meals It'll keep you from wandering around the store because you can make a shopping list off your menu, and then you can help meet the needs of saving time, feeding yourself, feeding your family, and also, it just saves multiple trips to the store. I don't know if you're like me, but I don't need to be running to the store every day because I have other things that take my attention. Batching your content creation, batching anything where you do it repeatedly every single day. Look at your content. So I'm talking about blog posts, social media, graphic design. If you're doing your own graphics, have that be something that you look at to do it once a week or once a month or every 2 weeks. Because I know for me, going into a blog post, if I'm going in and typing it up and then having to pick the tags, that's just to write the blog post. But then I'm also having to log in, think about what I want to write, get in the flow of writing, and also try and, focus on what I'm doing. So if I'm able to sit down and write a couple different blogs, then I'm able to keep that flow of writing going, and then move forward. I can log into my website later and upload all of the different information. Why is being intentional so important? I've said intentional a couple different times here, and it is important because it saves time and energy and stress by weeding out the non-essentials, which is important. We don't need to sit here and be stressed out and lacking in time and lacking in energy when we have lives and businesses to run. Think about what it is that you really want to be doing in business and where you're going. And it's important to focus on those goals and then intentionally get those goals done. One of the things that I recommend is to take 1 to 3 bigger goals that you can actually attain to keep the momentum moving, and then focus on those, break them down. So if I'm going to, one of my goals for this month was to book myself on a couple different podcasts. So I'm going to break down that goal into reaching out to 10 to 15 podcasts, sending them my pitch, and then in the meantime, I'm going to focus on having really good quality blog posts and quality Instagram posts so that when they come and check me out, that they'll be like, oh yeah, she's a good fit. So things like that where it's taking the big arching goal and being able to break it down into a couple different goals that I can work towards throughout the month is going to get me to break down that and complete that big goal. And then tools that are available to help you organize your schedule. And these are like the fun things that I get really, really passionate about, because this is where you can start adding in like the pretty things to life. Just a second, I'm going to take a drink quick. And these tools are just a couple that I was able to brainstorm and think of. There are a ton more that I did not include on here. So being practical, using tools to keep you organized is going to help you save time and energy and stress, because like I said, we don't need those in our lives. My top tools, obviously my calendars. I use a Google Calendar I love my paper Emily Lay planner because I can, on one side it has a to-do list, so I can make sure that I'm meeting the objectives for the day. And then I also have Acuity scheduling, which if you are just getting started, Acuity and Calendly are a couple of ways that you can have a place for people to go to schedule with you. And the Acuity is also able to take payments. So that's the one that I use because I'm able to take in money when I schedule. And it's just easier. It creates a flow that I don't have to send a PayPal payment or do anything like that. So then Acuity and Calendly and a couple of the other ones will link with either the Google Calendar or the iCalendar, whichever one. And they allow me to not overbook myself. So yes, by having 2 planners or 2 calendars, I have to make sure that I'm not scheduled for something on the computer and then on my paper planner as well. But it's a good way to keep my availability either closed or open when it comes to running the business and having appointments. So Trello is amazing for all things collaboration, content planning, keeping graphics, pictures. I use my hashtags and leave my hashtags in there. And if you are familiar with that one, there's also Asana and Basecamp that are similar. So it's a free web interface where you're able to go in and leave notes for other people, notes for yourself. I had mentioned Evernote earlier in the presentation, kind of the same thing, but it allows you to share your boards and share information with other people. So when I'm working with a team, it's a really good way to go and say, okay, I'm going to tag you in this, and then they'll get a notification that I've put in information. Slack has also been really helpful in communicating with others. I'm putting together something for the spring, and so we're using Slack to talk to each other. And that is, Slack actually is able to you're able to like have instant messaging, but you're also able to integrate with Trello, Google Docs, Asana, and some other different tools that are able to help you build that productivity. PowerSheets. Some of you might be familiar with Laura Casey and her Cultivate What Matters PowerSheets. They are an intentional goal-setting worksheet and set of workbooks where you can break down your big picture vision for the upcoming year and then decide on 10 big goals and how you're going to break those goals down. I have been able to accomplish so much more using this method because it's intentionally making the choice to do what matters every day. So like I said, with having the goals that you're working on for a set amount of time, it's going to help you break them down, and it also gives me a visual to say, okay, today I'm going to work towards this, and build better habits like drinking enough water. Having an accountability partner, so it's not quite a tool. Having an accountability partner has been invaluable when I want to make forward progress, because I'm able to tell somebody, this is what I'm going to do, and they're going to hold me accountable to that. So if I say, today I'm going to write 3 blog posts, I know I have somebody else that's going to go and be like, okay, Danielle, did you actually get this done? And this is not just in the business world, this is also in life. If you have a health goal that you want to keep and you want to make progress on, I think most wellness programs, most fitness programs help you have or make you have an accountability partner or strongly suggest it because they know how powerful it is. A virtual assistant is not a tool either, but they can help you get organized or you can hire somebody who focuses on organizing for the business to come in and help get your business organized. And this is also, when I talk about delegating, having a virtual assistant that you can talk to and give them the work that is going to free you up to actually make money. So a lot of people will choose to delegate social media first and have the time taken that, because Facebook and social media schedulers take so much time out of their week, they'll have a virtual assistant or a social media manager come alongside them and help them with those tasks. Because being on social media, yes, does provide leads, does provide help in getting your business going and growing. However, it doesn't really make money straight away. So if you're able to delegate something that's not necessarily making you money, like cleaning out your inbox, you're freed up to do what is actually going to make you money. So I believe, yep, that's it. So I can go ahead and jump in on some of these questions. Russ, is there anything that you had seen that you wanted to talk about straight away?
Yes, thanks, Danielle. Really appreciate you sort of highlighting the importance of being organized and managing your time. You mentioned some great tools there, certainly some that I've used, Trello with the boards and helpful for lists, and Calendly is great. Evernote, I know you mentioned, Google Docs, and also use quite a lot SharePoint for collaboration, and that really does help. Really good one. Also, love the way you mentioned about delegating tasks to the kids. Although I must admit, I'm slightly jealous. I've got two teenagers, and it seems like your little ones, and even your 2-year-old, seems to do more than my 19-year-old and my 17-year-old. So I shall be working on that after the session.
Well, we'll see what happens when they become teenagers.
Good luck. But yeah, there are some good questions that have come in. We've got a little while just to go through some of these. Now, one of our attendees has asked, are both short-term and long-term goals important? Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say you want to make goals that are going to be 3 to 5 years in the future. And this is just it. It can go along with your vision statement to say, this is where I want to be going in the future. This is my vision. This is the big picture. In 3 to 5 years, I want to have another book written. I wrote my devotional for Christian entrepreneurs back in March, and I'd love to get another book published. Well, what is it going to take for me to get another book published? First, I have to come up with a topic, and then, break down the subsequent goals. So from there, setting that long-term goal gives me an idea of where I'm going. Having the short-term goals, I think people usually talk about short-term goals in 6 months to a year or less. So when you are creating those goals, it's going to be stuff that you want to get done straight away. So you have a fire under your butt. You want to make sure that you are getting on a couple of different podcasts or getting your visibility up, or you have this idea for a business that you know is going to be awesome, but you need to set goals that are going to intentionally get you where you're going. So if I'm going to create a business, first I need to have what I want to be doing. So that's when having a mission or vision statement comes in. So my mission is to equip, empower, and enable women business owners and serve the whole owner, health, business, and faith heart. So that says, okay, I'm serving business owners. I'm going to do so by providing this, and this service. And I think that actually answers one of the other questions for mission, what do you mean by a mission or vision statement again? So that kind of it enables you to see where you're going. The mission statement is going to be what you're doing, who you're serving, and then the vision is the longer term, bigger picture type of thing. And some of the bigger corporations will have their mission or vision statement right on their website. So if you get stuck and you're like, what do I do for that? What do I need to be doing to get a mission or get goals or have a vision statement? Check out some corporations, like Apple, for instance.
That's a really good piece of advice. I know we have got that question about, could you define what you mean by a mission or vision again? I think you've done that well. And you have obviously mentioned the fact that getting those goals, and you have mentioned some, but any other tips for people who are thinking, actually, what is the best way to set goals?
Well, me personally, because my faith is such a big influence in my life, I spend a lot of time praying about them. I know other people meditate on where they want to be or what they want to be doing, and they envision their future. So one of the goals that I had for this past year was to get more financially fit. Because I knew obviously money is a big deal, and then we want to break down our debt and have the ability and the freedom to live debt-free or without as much debt as what we've had in the past. So I knew that I needed to take steps to be financially fit. So that looked like me talking with a financial planner. That looked like me making a goal to only have 2 cups of Starbucks a day, or not a day, a week. Have 2 cups a day, that would be crazy.
That'd be good. You can save some money.
Yes. So when you look at goals, you want to determine where it is that you're going and what you want to be doing, and being hyper-focused on that for a little bit. Not saying that you have to live in the future and be crazy about I'm only going to live for these 3 things. But being able to determine what your values are and what you want to create, like that life for yourself. If you've built a business, you want to be able to have that life and not let that consume you. So really just determining where you're going and what you want to be doing.
No, excellent. That's really, really helpful. And this sort of leads into it. So as all very much came across that you've got a great and supportive partner, and we have somebody who's been listening in this afternoon who said exactly that. But any tips for her as a single mom? She doesn't have the same support that you have.
Yeah, for sure. No, my husband's amazing. He handles the laundry and the dirty dishes, and I'm like, okay, cool. But as a single mom, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can pull in support. I don't know what your living arrangements look like. If you're close to family, if you are close to friends, there are a lot of times when, and I know single moms do this, but also there's moms that just need to build their business. So they will trade babysitter time. So they'll give their kids to a friend for an afternoon. And then they'll take somebody's kids for an afternoon. So trading off is really good, and that's cheap, effective. I don't know if that's possible for you. And then also, I'm a big proponent of mother's helpers. So that's usually kids between 9 and 13. And I look at this in 2 different ways. I look at it as they're coming in, they're helping me for a reduced rate because I don't have to pay them what I paid babysitter. They're helping me with household tasks. They're helping watch my kid so I can get things done. They are going to be the ones that I am also mentoring. If they don't have a good relationship with their mom, maybe this is going to be a way that they can have that womanly influence in their life when you're teaching them how to do things. So they're also gaining. I spent time up at a friend's house, and I say friend, like she had kids that were a little bit like 4 years younger than me. But I learned how to take care of babies. I learned how to feed babies. I learned how to help pick up and do laundry and help put some of those organizational things into place when I was like 7 or 8. So I think it's a good way, just get creative. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have any support, that becomes a little more challenging. But I would also draw on, if it's like a school-age kid, see what parent support programs they have. I know they have in Wisconsin. They've got different programs where it's like you can leave your kid for a night so that you can have like a parents' night out. Well, if you don't need a parents' night out, you can use that time to things like that.
No, great tips, Danielle. Really, really good. Now we've got time for another couple of questions. This is interesting. You were talking about the possibility of outsourcing. One of our listeners has asked, can you give some examples of the type of tasks that you would recommend that we could outsource?
So like I said, social media is a big one. That's very time involving. Take things that you don't enjoy, and that is where I would start. I don't enjoy making graphics for social media, so that was one of the first things that I outsourced. I didn't know how to make editable PDFs when I was getting started in business, so I outsourced it. It doesn't have to be huge. It's just things that you either don't like or that take up an exorbitant amount of time that you don't necessarily need to be doing. Think CEO. Like, you are the head honcho. You've got all this information that you need to be taking care of. You need to be running your business. Somebody else can't run your business for you. So you can delegate and outsource the things that don't make sense for you.
No, excellent. That's really, really good. So we're coming to the end of the session now, Danielle. We have had a couple of people who have asked if you could just recap on the organization apps that you mentioned again.
Yeah, for sure. Here, I will switch back. Okay. So, and the slide deck is going to be emailed out to you guys. I have on my website and I can actually write a blog post too about some helpful tools. And so legacycreativeco.com. I had talked about Trello, Asana, Basecamp, Evernote, Acuity, and these are the scheduling ones, Acuity and Calendly.
Fantastic. We'll make sure that we get those that information to everybody, as you say. So I think we'll draw to an end. So the last, I suppose, question that we've got time for is, you've mentioned the tools. Are there any websites that you could personally recommend that can either provide help and guidance on managing time, or on perhaps being able to help people meditate, keep calm, get that vision sorted?
Yes. So my website is a good resource. And I think in the information, and Russ, remind me, do we have that going out to people too, like the website and then the blog posts that I had provided?
We will indeed. We'll make sure everybody gets those, okay. Danielle.
Okay. Because I've got a couple of different blogs that I had recommended for this presentation specifically. So they talk about time management and other things that you can do. Kelsey Van Kirk is one of my really, really good friends, and she's somebody that has helped me to organize and strategize. So she's got some. There is also the Purposeful Home podcast, which is Kelsey and then another one of her cohorts, Ali Casaza. They have a podcast together. Some of the home tips that I use have come from them. And they are top notch because they are also women that are doing a lot and juggling a lot. So those are a couple different resources. And then I think Diana Kerr, KERR.com. She's got a couple as well.
Fantastic, Danielle. Thank you for sharing those with us, and a big thank you for sharing so many excellent tips today. I know that we've all got a great deal from the session. So recordings of this particular webinar and all the others over the course of the virtual summit this week will be available to view again here on the BrightTalk platform. We'll also make sure that this session and the information that Danielle has mentioned is emailed to you. If you haven't already done so, please make sure that you register for and that you watch our final virtual summit session, which will be focusing on simple technology for entrepreneurs, and that runs at 4 p.m. Eastern this afternoon, if my memory serves me correctly. And make sure you watch the earlier sessions from the last few days that are available on demand. Please, everybody, also remember to visit napw.com for details of the many benefits that membership of NAPW brings. And so, once again, a massive thank you to you, Danielle, for your time and for your input, and to everybody for joining us this afternoon. I very much look forward to welcoming everybody to future NAPW sessions. Thank you.
Thank you.